Ooh, here we go. New banners. Let's see. Immaculate Pulse, Beyond Mortality, Baizhu Dendro with Fischl, Candace, and Kaveh. It's official. We're getting Baizhu, and we get to see the 4 stars with Baizhu and Ganyu. So let's take a look at these characters first. Baizhu probably will be pretty good. I mean, Dendro and healer. He has a little shield, but it's not really a shield. It's just like an interruption resistance, so you'll still take damage, but you won't get knocked around, which is quite nice. Unfortunately, like, if you're playing Kokomi, you get the heals, but then you get knocked around a lot, so that's kind of annoying. So he'll probably be a lot more fun to play healer-wise than she will. And then Kaveh's probably going to be pretty decent. Again, Dendro character, looks like he is a carry for specifically Bloom teams, but he can probably work in other teams as well. Candace, while she is one of my favorite 4 stars of all time, in terms of how cool she looks, she's not very good. She's pretty bad, unfortunately. You would think it would be really difficult to make a Hydro character bad, but they found a way. GG Hoyo. Fischl, though, Fischl's really good, and it's been a really long time since we've had her on a banner. So overall, this banner's pretty nice for either Baizhu or Ganyu. Really, none of these characters help Ganyu, to be honest, but Fischl would probably help Baizhu. Kaveh and Baizhu could probably work in a Bloom team pretty well together. If you do have Yao Yao, you can use Yao Yao and Candace together. That's a pretty good combination, but otherwise, Candace isn't going to see too many teams, to be honest. So, it's kind of okay. If you were wishing only for Fischl, again, be weary of trying to get just one 4-star, because the rate is pretty against you if you're trying to get only one specific 4-star. If you don't believe me, you can check out my Mika video, where I used like 13,000 Primo Gems for one copy of Mika, because I was very stubborn. And let's see. So, oh, there's the weapons. Well, we've got Amos, Jadefall, and then Sackbow, Lion's Roar, Wandering Evan Star, Machaira Aquamarine, that's what it is, and Favlance. Yeah, the 4 stars on this banner are way better than the 5 stars. The 5 stars are pretty bad. You can get Amos randomly from the standard banner, so I wouldn't want to wish on that. Jadefall is pretty bad too. It's basically just a slightly better prototype Amber, which you can craft for free anyways. But things like the Sackbow, really good for Diona with Ganyu. Lion's Roar is a pretty decent sword. Wandering Evanstar is a pretty good catalyst. Favlance is great. And Machaira Aquamarine as the Claymore is pretty decent too. I would say unless you're really going for like a Baizhu, I'd probably skip this banner. Both the weapon banner and the character banner, unless you're going for the 5-star. Because the 4 stars are okay, but really you're going after the 5 stars on these banners. The 4 stars probably are not good enough to warrant just throwing a bunch of wishes into. Especially because if you really wanted Fischl, you could use your Star Glitter for her, because she does come in the store every... I forget when exactly she comes, but she does come every 6 months or so, every few months, twice a year, so you can grab her there. This might be decent for a newer player too. It's not as good as the Nahida banner right now. If you were a newer player and didn't know where to put your Primo Gems, the Nahida banner, if you wanted like a good start, would be way better. Because you get Kuki, who's really good in Hyper Bloom teams. Fischl can't really work very well in Hyper Bloom. And then Nahida's just busted strong. But if you wanted to wish for Ganyu, Ganyu's still a pretty powerful character, though not quite as powerful as, I mean, she's still the same power level, just freeze teams are not as good as they used to be, especially with Dendro and Hyper Bloom running rampant all over. But still a very good character and very free-to-play friendly, as will Baizhu. He's very likely going to be a really easy, like, free-to-play character to build. Overall, the banners are okay, but not amazing, and I want to let you know a few additional considerations that we talked about later. Even though Kaveh can work in a Bloom team, it's probably better if he's a driver for a Hyper Bloom or a Burgeon team. Apparently people have said that his buff to bloom damage is additive and not multiplicative, which means that his bloom damage may be 4 to 5 times weaker than it was initially thought to be. And if this is the case, he's definitely worse than Nilou, like 50% worse, which is already a hard pairing to begin with since Nilou's ability makes Dendro cores explode pretty much instantly. So you have to use Kaveh after Nilou's bountiful cores are gone, which is already kind of awkward. But because he has the ability to create a pretty large AoE and Dendro infusion thanks to his burst, he can actually make a suitable driver for a Dendro team, especially a team like a Hyperbloom or a Burgeon team. And if the way his buffs work on Dendro cores is multiplicative and not additive, then Kaveh will be quite strong. But as it is now, he's just a character that's got a cool kit that unfortunately falls short of what its intended use is. And on another note, MiHoYo seems to be doing some sort of reverse power scaling recently, making characters that seem like they might be really strong actually pretty weak. So I don't have super high hopes for Kaveh, even though I would like if he was a really great 4-star. Now, even though these banners are okay and not amazing, that's not actually the reason you shouldn't wish on them. The reason you should wait is because the 3.7 livestream will be coming 10 days after these banners drop. So if you're on the fence about whether you should wish on these banners, wait 10 days to see who is coming in patch 3.7. A lot of people think that Kazuha is going to get his rerun there, and he's one of the best characters in the game and well worth your Primo Gems if you do want to go for him. So if you aren't 100% dead set on Baizhu or Ganyu, have a little bit of patience and see who's coming in 3.7 because they might be a little bit better for you. And as always, the weapon banners are a gigantic trap. This one is especially mediocre because the 5 stars are really bad, even though the 4 stars are pretty decent. So I would definitely not advise going for that unless you just need a few more weapons. You don't care about which 4-star weapon you get, you just want 4-star weapons. I hope you enjoyed this quick banner review, and we'll definitely be doing some more testing of Baizhu and Kaveh upon release. With that said, I love you all, have a wonderful day, stay jawsome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.